You ready? So I want you to open up Notepad++ because we'll code in there today and for the next few weeks anyways. So there, I don't want to start my program yet. So open up Notepad++, okay? And what I'm going to do is just write nonsense in here for now, so it'll let me save my file, okay? And I'm going to save it as, now you'll have your Google Drive to save stuff in, right? We're going to save it as a Python file here. That's the coding language we're learning this in this class, called Python. We'll learn a little bit more about where Python comes from later on, okay? But it's a good coding language, especially for beginners, and it's used everywhere, all over the place, all over the internet, all over, not so much games are made in Python, but a lot of scripts that people use to like make their lives easier on computers. A lot of those can be written in Python, okay? So I'm going to click the Python file, and I'm just going to save this as lab0, all one word. Ugh, so my mouse keeps moving over. Okay. Yeah, because this is kind of like the entry. It's getting started today, kind of figuring out how to type things to the screen. I already have a lab0, but I'm going to overwrite it. Okay. So there's our first Python file, okay? .py, right? And the first line of code you always write when you write a coding language is you always write hello world with the screen. So with Python, to do that, you just write the word print, and then in brackets, you write what you want to write. Now, if in most coding languages, if you want to write words on the screen, you have to surround them with double quotes, or else it'll think that they're variables that are holding some value. We'll talk about that later too, but for now, I just want this to print hello world on the screen. Okay. And so I'm going to save my file, and I just got to figure out how to run it, okay? And the way to run it is we're just hit run, and we'll hit run here, okay? Up in the run menu bar here. I got a picture of it in the lab too if you want to check out the Python note, okay? It shows you where to click run. And then there's a line of code that we're just going to copy. We only have to do it once, and then it'll be there every time we run our Notepad++, but it's this line here, okay? So open up Python note 0 and copy that. It's going to open up the little command prompt for us each time we run our code and run our Python file.
And that's you copy that into the little run.
Yeah, you copy it in here, okay, like that. It's quite a mouthful here. We'll learn what some of these commands mean later, but basically it's just telling the computer to run our code as a Python file. I might actually click save here and give it a name, something like Python, so I never have to write it again. And I never have to copy and paste it again. It's just going to remember it. You can even give it a shortcut. I might do that as well. Let me just move my mouse over a touch here. I might give it the shortcut Control, Alt, Shift, and S. I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a minute, but hit OK. And now it'll run our file for us in this little PowerShell. You'll see it. There you go. It runs a really basic program there. Just writes hello world on that like old DOS command. Okay. So I got my code blocks running. I have a little shortcut for it. I got my little shortcut here as well. This Python, so I can always click that one. I guess my shortcut doesn't probably work, but I'm gonna click it there, and it runs my program and says hello world. No problem. I can also run it with F5 and just hit enter, and it'll run it too. And it just says hello world on the screen. It's like the simplest program in the world right now. Here's a couple things you should know about Python, some introductory things. Number one, if you want to leave a message to yourself, it could be super useful later on when you're coding. Just a little shift 3 on there, hashtag. This is a note that won't run as code. Okay? And notice how it's green. If you notice that, I think by default it figures out what language you're using here, but you can tell there's a little star beside Python, and so it's coloring it according to the Python commands, like coloring it purple because print is a command, the brackets are blue, and that can be helpful later on when it color codes it nicely. Print just writes something to the console for now, like the old school DOS console. Like if I press OK, notice how it said there, hello world, right?
Yeah.
And now it's ready for me to do something else later in the console, but I'm not going to do anything with it. Right? I could change this to say whatever I want. Like I could put another print here. I'll help you there in a sec, Ben. Hold on. Got it? So yeah, for now, all we're going to be doing is basically printing stuff to the screen. It's going to be simple today. That's our goal. I can leave little notes to myself, and it's important if you code something really big, you might want to leave like this is the section where I check health points, or this is the section where I color in the map of the background or something, right? If you want to do more than one line of comments, you can write a whole bunch of stuff and like jump down a line and make like a really long comment, and then you just put these 3 quotes like that, and that should make a comment for you that won't run as code. Okay, so if you find yourself ever needing to leave a note that's more than 1 line long, you can just use this. I would just recommend using the hashtags in front of every line, but you could do it that way as well, where you just do the multi-line comment. So the lab will talk about that. Wants you to print hello world. We already did that. Wants you to look at some of these weird characters that you can put in. For instance, if I put \n anywhere inside one of these are called strings, by the way. It's a string of characters. If I put a \n inside of this hello world, hey! Okay, so if I put a \n in here, guys, it should jump a line and then write world. I'm going to just save it with Control S, and I'm going to run it with F5. See how it jumped the line there? Hello world. Okay? So there are kind of little hacks that we can put inside of the words we print, and it will put in characters. This one, for instance, just presses the Enter key for us, essentially, because we don't have a character that represents the Enter key. As soon as we press Enter, it jumps it down a line, and then that would mess our code up. Okay? So if we need to press the Enter key inside of one of our things we're printing, we put that \n. And there's a few other things you can do too. Obviously, we're going to have a problem with quotes, right? Because the quote actually works in the line of code. So if I put a quote here, it'll think I've closed that and mess up my code, right? So if I want to actually have a quote in there, I just put a \, in front of it. And then that lets the computer know it's a kind of a special character that I need to put in there. Okay? So I'm going to hit Control S and F5 again, and that'll run it, and you can see it's got a quote in there. Okay? So work on that. That'll be on the lab too to try. And then the last thing I want to just quickly talk about is the idea of Python being full of third-party libraries. So anyone can come along and just code something cool that they want to add to Python. And some of these, and they're called libraries. They're just a bunch of code that you can use the commands inside of them. You don't really need to know how their code works. There's just a list of commands that you can use to make your code easier to code. And then the ones that become most popular are the ones that are like 2D graphics and stuff like that. Things that people use all the time. There's one called Colorama. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run my code. Hit F5. Okay. And I'm going to run it. And now that I'm in this little thing, I'm just going to install Colorama on this computer so that I can use it. I don't know if we have to install it every single time, but here's how you install a Python library. You just write the word pip, Python install program, I guess, something like that. I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm just going to copy this line here. And then we'll use a command built in this Colorama library. I'll show you here how it works, okay? So inside of my little PowerShell that I have open after I didn't close my PowerShell here, my little command prompt, I'm just going to write that line in there. It should install it for me. It's already in there, okay? Oh, wait. Yeah, no, it should be in there. Okay, that's cool. I guess I could update it if I wanted to. Look at it. It even says I could update it. I wonder if that line of code will run. It doesn't matter if it's a little outdated. Yeah, it's downloading it and updating it. That's neat. Yeah, once you do the pip install thing. So it's going online now, and it's finding out where it is, and it's going to install it for us. Puts it in a little folder in Windows somewhere where it knows to look. Okay, so there it installed, no problem. I'm going to go to the lab, and I'm going to look up what I have to do to use this library. We'll get into a lot more detail later, but right now, the only thing I have to do at the top of my code is import the word Colorama so that it knows I want to use that specific lines of code. So I write import Colorama. Okay. Colorama. And if you look at the lab, it tells you how to use it. It's actually a little more complicated than you would think. But if I want to print something red, I just have to write the word colorama.for.red. And then that will color the text red. And if I go colorama.back.green, that will color the background in green. So that might be cool. Let's try that. I have 2 lines of code in here, right? Apparently, all I have to do is write colorama.for.red. I think it's capital red. And then I just have to write a plus after it, and then it will print whatever's after the plus in red. And if I write colorama.back.green, notice the colors are all written in capital letters. That matters. If you forget that, you'll get an error.
Why does it be for and back?
Foreground and background.
Oh, background.
Yeah, I think the background will make Nathan's background green. I wonder if you could do both. I'd have to look up how Colorama works, but I'm going to run that. And look at that. It says, oh, it kept my color always red, and my background is always green now. Okay? And then maybe to go back to default, you would have to find a way to stop that. We'd have to look up how to do that on in Colorama's website or whatever. Oh, look at that. There it already is. We can reset it anytime we want. Okay? So we'll experiment with that on the lab today, and then there's another cool lab you can look at, or another cool library, and you can always just go to the website and get some cool examples, okay? So that's what we want to do today. We want to print some things to the screen, see if we can get Python working in Notepad++, and we'll be good to go.